And welcome to Live at APEX here this afternoon from Anaheim. I'm delighted to be joined by a series of guests this afternoon to look at a variety of different new products. My first guest today is Mark Curtin. He's the President and CEO of Transition Automation. Nice to see you, Mark.
Pleased to see you, Trevor. Thank you. Welcome to APEX 2025.
There you go. So, you came out last year with a really innovative new squeegee blade system. Some of the issues you were looking to do was to make the blade more stable, to keep the paste from bleeding out the side of the blade, etc. You've refined it as you've gone along, but where are we just now? Let's show us the latest version.
Sure, Trevor. We have what we call the slimline holder system.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pass that off. Thank you. And the idea was to just simplify the squeegee holder by reducing the number of parts and the number of details when people have to maintain their squeegee. So this product is, as you can see, very smooth on the front. There's no clamp bar. And then to remove the blade, we have a nice sophisticated paste retainer system with 2 locks. So you just have to twist these locks, these thumb screws, that releases the blade, and then the blade just pops out.
Okay, so that blade is magnetized there, so it jumps into place and keeps it there.
Exactly. So we have magnets to hold it firm, and then we have reference pins to set it in the correct position, and then we have these 2 little chucks that just tighten up against the blade to lock it in place. And then we have locks for the locks, because as you know, if it can go bad, it will. So once you lock the blade, you lock the lock. So it really takes about a minute to change a blade. So we like to keep it very simple for the operators. In today's modern times, if it's not simple, it's going to really get screwed up.
Right. Excellent. And so it seems very, very straightforward. But then you've also got the paste retainers at the ends here that stop the paste from bleeding out. And there's a few different features to this part of the product alone. So talk us through that.
So what we did is we created a sophisticated suspension system right in the end here. If you see that moving, it's got a nice linear up-down motion. It's spring-loaded. It has a parallelogram in there, and it also has a little release thumb screw for the end cap. We call this the dam. So again, all related to making it easier for the customer to clean it. But this little gliding action is important for trapping the solder within this because the solder is always leaking out and it causes an interruption. They have to open the printer to move the paste back in. So with this system, they're able to tighten up everything to keep the printing nice and clean and consistent.
Okay. Well, it seems a very simple and easy to use system. Can you tell me, does it retain the paste easier? Does it keep the paste in better condition? Does it help with quality and print performance?
Oh, definitely. Anything to do to make the operator's job easier makes them more motivated to keep everything neat. So we're taking steps to make it less burdensome. And as you know, if something's tedious, people lose patience and then they cut corners. So by making the product high-end and easier to use, I think it overall improves the quality of the process, especially when the paste is walking out the sides. It's changing its consistency, it's drying out, so there's a lot of waste. Paste is very expensive. It's $100 for one small jar, so the cost of the squeegee is kind of expensive, but over the course of a year, it'll easily pay itself back 10 times over just in the amount of paste that gets saved.
Yeah, okay. And I think the other, just a final thing to point out here is that it's very easy to take apart and just throw in the washing machine to clean. There's really not a lot of moving parts to it, and it's very easy to clean.
Yes, the iPhone was a great innovation in reducing the number of parts. It took away all the keys of the keyboard. Mm-hmm. So anytime you can take parts away, you rise up and things get simpler. And this system has been recently sold multiple times to Nova Biomed in Waltham, Massachusetts, and that's a medical products company. They have a very high standard. Yeah. They bought the high-end ECRA machines, so they've been a long-term customer of ours. and their feedback has been very positive. So we feel that's a great endorsement for the product. It's a niche business, so it's not going to change the world, but we feel that that's a nice...
Yeah, you have some manufacturers that are doing high-end stuff that have invested in it, see the value in it. You've got a couple in Europe as well.
Yep, we've got a houseware automation product that company that sells controls for home heating in Denmark, and they also help us pioneer it. They had a couple of concerns of the first rev, so they were very instrumental in helping us improve the product and deliver a good system.
Great, yeah. Well, do you have a name for it?
We call it the Slimline Squeegee Holder, tool-free. Tool-free.
Tool-free Slimline Squeegee Holder. There you go. Excellent product, Mark.
Thank you, Trevor.
So what else is happening at Transition Automation? Have you got anything else new that you're working on now?
Well, February was a record month for us. In an odd way, we got our largest squeegee order of all time.
Wow.
And of all places, it came from India. So we haven't really penetrated the Indian market too much because it's a low-cost market. They have a hard time justifying $2,000 for a squeegee holder. But in this case, it's a security printing company. And there was a spin-off from a customer of ours in the USA. And of all things, they make the security marks in the currency.
Okay, banknotes.
So banknotes. So they licensed their technology to an Indian company that does the packaging for a lot of big brands like Unilever and Nike and all these companies where they want to detect counterfeit products. So they embed basically a combination of polarized crystals in a certain percentage into the surface of the product packaging, and then the U.S. Customs or whatever agency wants to try to detect counterfeit can just scan it. So they use our squeegees for that process. And so that was the largest order we've had in history for a single squeegee blade order, 100 blades of a certain size. And it's a new industry we haven't been in before. So we're very excited that,
nice
something
nice
new.
Application.
Yeah. The business has been quite mature for a while, so to have something new like that, it's exciting.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, and I want to thank you for coming in and telling us about it today.
All right. Thank you, Trevor. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah. So coming up after the break, we're going to be talking to another one of our guests here from APEX in Anaheim.
Join the revolution. Non-stop selective soldering. Increase UPH. Reduce maintenance. Small footprint. Contact us today for more details.
And welcome back. My next guest today is Tim Kang. He's the CEO of Hanwha Automation here in the Americas. Welcome, Tim. Nice to see you.
Hi, Trevor. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah. So lots of things been happening at Hanwha. In recent years, you've been growing out your product line and moving into some of the higher volume machines. Tell us a little bit about how that's going and what's the latest developments.
Well, in the past, we have emphasized our high flexibility, high mix, low volume products in North America. But as I'm sure you're aware, we've been in the SMT business for more than 35 years.
Yeah.
And we've developed a full product lineup of solutions, not just high flexibility, but also high volume, high speed modular mounters as well. And we've also have a full lineup of odd form automation solutions. And while we've developed that full product mix to serve a full range of customers, now we've had recent successes with Tier 1 EMS customers such as Sanmina and J-Will in Mexico, and we've successfully completed AVL evaluation, and now we're very eager to work with those customers in expanding their automation needs.
Well, that's a big change because, I mean, essentially you are more involved in the sort of high mix market, high changeover type, but moving into the high volume is a different segment altogether. So congratulations on that. So you've also been working on some other developments, I believe, by opening up Hanwha Semi. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
In the past, we've also carried a product portfolio of semiconductor packaging equipment, but in recent years, with the rapid growth of the semiconductor back-end industry, we've really expanded our portfolio and production volume for the back-end equipment, the flip chip bonders, the die bonders, and the TC bonders. Right. And to reflect the increasing emphasis on our semiconductor technology that goes really well with our SMT pick and place technologies. We've underwent a recent corporate name change. In the past, we were known as Hanwha Precision Machinery back in Korea. Yeah. Now we've undergone a name change to Hanwha Semi-Tech.
Okay, Hanwha Semi-Tech. Okay, and that's so you're going to be doing die bonders and different systems there. Now, is that business? Are you doing much of that business here in North America? Because a lot of the back-end packaging business is really in Malaysia and places like that in Southeast Asia.
Well, in the past, we've done a lot of those, supported our customers mostly in Asia. Yeah. But now, with a lot of manufacturing, electronics manufacturing, moving back to the United States, we're also positioning ourselves to aggressively support our customers with those technology here in North America as well. Right. And many of our customers, like Samsung or SK Hynix, are also expanding their manufacturing operations in North America. So we're working to support them better here, and we're also working to expand our sales network and service network in North America to support other customers as well. Okay, that's interesting. So, I mean, the Tier 1 companies that you mentioned earlier, Sanmina and the J-Wills, some of their factories are starting to introduce clean rooms and packaging type applications in there. Are you finding that you're getting any orders for systems for these systems in North America for clean rooms for SMT companies? Well, we haven't had specific requests for high clean room level specifications yet for SMT, but I think we will eventually get there. Yeah. And we've had a lot of experience working with semiconductor customers who've had specific needs or clean class requirements for equipment. So we've had equipment that matches up to ISO class 4 equipment for our semiconductor side, and I'm sure that's going to be a growing need for our customers as well. Okay. Now, the pick and place machines are typically the heart of the production line. Yeah. And especially with the Tier 1, the large manufacturers of pick and place systems, they are all moving towards full line solutions. Is that something that's on your roadmap? Definitely, because right now for large volume Tier 1 customers, it's not just throughput on a single machine, but also on an inline scale. And they also want efficiency. They want to be able to do job conversions from one product to another product and maintain the same level of operational efficiency on the same line. Right. So that's something that we are working very closely with our customers to make sure that they have that flexibility in line, and not just at the line level, but also at the factory level.
Right.
So they are able to allocate their projects, the product mixes more effectively across different lines as well.
Excellent. Okay. Well, it sounds like you're going in the right direction, Tim. Exciting news to hear about the expansion of the Hanwha Semiconnect. So I want to thank you for coming in and telling us about it today.
Thank you, Trevor.
Okay. So coming up after the break, we're going to be talking to Mr. Berntson from Indium Corporation.
Kaizen is the leading global supplier of award-winning cleaning chemistries for electronics assembly operations. Whether you are cleaning stencils or final assemblies, our global team of cleaning experts is there to help you succeed. Want to know more? Stop by our booth or visit kaizen.com.
For micro dispensing, there is one product line that is proven and trusted by manufacturers in semiconductor packaging, electronics assembly, medical device, and electromechanical assembly the world over. DL Technology, superior pumps and needles for the finer things in life.
Video proudly sponsored by Kyoyoung Technology, true 3D inspection for the SMT industry.
And welcome back. Delighted to be joined now by Ross Berntson. He's the President and CEO of Indium Corporation. Welcome, Ross.
It's great to be here. It's been a great day seeing a lot of old friends.
And some new people too. There's a lot of young people too. Yeah. I want to talk, we'll start off, I think, talking about some of the success you've had with the low temperature solder business. The product name you give it is Durafuse, and it comes in, as I recall, 2 different versions. Explain to us, or explain to our audience, a little bit about what these 2 different versions are and what differentiates them.
Yeah. So we've been very proud of our Durafuse LT and our Durafuse HR. So you're right, we got these 2 different materials, right, but they're both based on this foundational technology, which is a mixed powder technology. Mm-hmm. So what you're able to do is create the best of both worlds. You get these 2 powders. One creates maybe an incredible wetting performance, and then the other one can enhance the reliability of the final joint.
Right.
And so, old guys like me talk about, good engineering or sustainability is just good engineering, right?
Exactly.
And so good engineering requires you to remove as much waste as possible, pull as much energy consumption out of the system as possible, right? Mm-hmm, and that's what we've done with Durafuse LT.
Right.
So it's been able people to turn their ovens down about 40 degrees.
Right.
So that ends up saving them about 10 to 15% on their energy bills, which is a huge benefit.
It's huge.
And then the added benefit of it, because we're at a lower temperature, you get less warpage.
Right.
So for these very, very large components that are coming out, these large BGAs, it might be the solution for how to assemble those going forward. And we're really excited about that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think there's 2 reasons why people go down the low temperature route. And that's, first one is obviously reliability on some of these high-end packages, etc. But the second one is definitely, even people making consumer products looking for cost savings with energy, etc., and a lower cost product.
Right.
So it seems to be working at both ends of the market almost.
It's fantastic. And then the Durafuse HR, which is the other version, is for those high reliability applications where you have the stress condition, maybe in the automotive industry, where there's high thermal cycling requirements,
Yep.
and we really need to get that extra reliability that you get out of maybe a tougher joint. But to do that and not have voiding be all over the place, we've again used this mixed powder technology to be able to yield the best of both worlds. Great wetting,
Right.
low voiding,
Right.
and the reliable solder joint that meets the mission profile of those customers.
Right. Well, as I say, you've done extremely well with it. So let's turn our attentions quickly to the some of the other products that are performing well for you. You know, what are your key sellers at the moment?
Well, one of the most exciting areas for us is thermal management. You know, it's amazing. These there was some thought that as we got to these finer transistor nodes, we'd have less thermal challenges. The thermal challenges just keep going up.
Keep going up.
And so what we're able to benefit from is this incredible element called indium,
Yep.
our namesake,
Yep.
of course, element number 49. And it has high thermal conductivity, and it's very soft, so it releases a lot of stress, or it can absorb a lot of stress that
Right.
happens between the die and the heatsink.
Yes.
And so we see an enormous amount of innovation and different slight alloy tweaks to that, different assembly technologies, and then now what we're seeing is different ways to introduce it, not just at the chip level, but at like the TIM 1.5, where they're connecting heat sinks to the back of dies.
Yes.
And then indium's this wonderful ingredient in liquid metals too.
Yes.
So, which is indium gallium systems, and there's also some liquid metal systems without gallium in them.
Right.
And those also are really exciting for how they can help people achieve the thermal design that they require for those devices.
Right. Okay. Now we're in a market where obviously there's a lot of supply chain issues at the moment. Are you having any issues getting raw materials or anything like that? Is that working pretty seamlessly?
Well, you know, it's been working out okay, but I spent a few restless nights, I got to tell you, with the on-off tariffs, and you know, I saw that T-shirt. I survived the trade war, the one-day trade war for a while there. But you know, the ability as a global company to support our customers is well placed. Right?
Yeah.
We're in good place, good position to make it where we sell it. If you think of it that way.
Right.
But in terms of our supply chain, we're working really hard on making sure we have a robust supply chain, not only from a multiple supplier standpoint, but also multiple geographies. And that's critical to the long-term health of the business.
Absolutely.
But we're still very, you know, no matter, we're this global company. So I'm very excited about China. We're actually expanding in China right now.
Okay.
I'm very excited about India, which is a dynamic market.
Very.
And then we just built a big new factory in Malaysia to support the Malaysia and really the whole Indo-China marketplace.
Well, I mean, Malaysia is very big on the advanced packaging side.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a lot of business there, and it's huge. I mean, my first trip to Penang many years ago was quite an eye-opener, but it's a lot of business around there. India has really opened up, and in my opinion, and a couple of other people I've spoken to, it's doing the best job of opening up an end-to-end supply chain. It's supporting everybody from the PCB side right through to the OSATs and the wafer manufacturing.
Yeah, we're seeing the same thing.
Yeah. And they've been successful even attracting some companies that make components and things like that into the country. So they're really getting everybody, all the stakeholders into that place. So what do you think? Are you thinking that market is really going to expand over the next 5 to 10 years?
Oh yeah, I mean the lines are arriving, right? It's just a matter of time before they get loaded up and the demand starts flowing. So I do think it's going to be the real deal going forward. It's going to take a while for it to not be shifted products because they're still developing the engineering talent to run these complex lines, but they're going to have it.
I think it's going to initially be for the indigenous market. I mean, but I think over time, it's really going to become, you know, a real place for doing export growth as well. Absolutely. I mean, they're currently doing that with some of the cell phones. The cell phones they're getting quite a chunk of the cell phone business now. There, but I think that'll grow over time.
Yeah. And have you had a chance to go to India yet?
Oh yes.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Amazing.
It's a big country though.
Absolutely.
It's hard to imagine how big it is until you've been there.
It's incredible, you know, and 50% of the population are under 25, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So it's one of the youngest populations out there. So it's got a lot going for it. You know, they need to improve their infrastructure a little bit, but you know,
agreed.
Outside of that, there's a lot of nice things happening there. You know, that's great. Anyway, always great to catch up, Ross. I want to thank you for coming in and talking to us today, and wish you continued success with Indium.
It's always a pleasure, Trevor. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Kaizen is the leading global supplier of award-winning cleaning chemistries for electronics assembly operations. Whether you are cleaning stencils or final assemblies, our global team of cleaning experts is there to help you succeed. Want to know more? Stop by our booth or visit kaizen.com.
For micro dispensing, there is one product line that is proven and trusted by manufacturers in semiconductor packaging, electronics assembly, medical device, and electromechanical assembly the world over. DL Technology, superior pumps and needles for the finer things in life.
Video proudly sponsored by Kyoyoung Technology. True 3D inspection for the SMT industry.
Synchro. Join the revolution. Non-stop selective soldering. Increase UPH. Reduce maintenance. Small footprint. Contact us today for more details.
And welcome back. Yesterday, myself and the global SMT TV crew took the time to go and do a number of interviews with the IPC team. So the first of these interviews was with Matt Kelly. He's the Chief Technology Officer, and he told us about some of the challenges and some of the opportunities that are coming down the pipe for those at the leading edge of technology in our industry. This is the interview. Joining me now is Matt Kelly. He's the Chief Technology Officer for IPC. Welcome, Matt. Nice to see you.
Hi, Trevor. Nice to see you.
Okay. So some exciting news. You've apparently got a new job recently. A couple of weeks ago, you were made responsible not just for the technology side of IPC, but also moving the standards and guidelines ahead. So tell us about it.
Yeah, no, it is a new announcement. I think we're just a couple weeks into the job here, so still kind of sorting through kind of some of the background of what we're looking to do here. But the exciting thing about it is that pairing technology solutions, which is the group I've been running for the last couple of years, which is more of a forward-looking seeking of new needs for technology, guidelines and standards, training, advocacy, awareness of these things. When we've talked about that over the last couple of years ourselves here, but now pairing that with our core of IPC standards development, and so these two groups now are reporting to me, and so the way that we're looking at this is kind of on the technology solutions side, seeking what the industry needs and wants for these new either guidelines or standards, and that's either coming kind of from our increased activity in the packaging world, but also what that really means to kind of the back end of assembly and PCBs and PCBA assembly. But then also on the standard side of things, we've got obviously a 65 years of standards development expertise and background, and just really trying to align that with some of the newer technologies, but then making sure that we can look at new ways of delivering standards, right? AI is all around us. Do we have to look at new ways of how we deliver our standards from IPC?
Yep.
And kind of the usage of standards, how people are really using them. So I look at the combination of both of those groups being really kind of enabling us over the next few years to not just look at the new content that we're developing, but how we develop and how we deliver that, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's good.
Yeah, with all the automation that's coming into the industry, with AI, with robotics and automation as well. I mean, I guess these systems are being set up in some cases to IPC standards. So the way that you deliver the data and information to the people who are writing these programs and doing that kind of thing, I guess is quite important.
It is, and so obviously everyone talks about AI, and there's obviously risks and opportunities there, but not just the use of AI in terms of delivery, but also speed. Yeah. We talk a lot about how fast technology is changing, and the challenge with a standards development organization like IPC is how can we be as close to that leading edge as possible. We're never going to be on top of it. There's obviously intellectual property and things that are protected in the companies, but if we can kind of push closer to that and be very proactive, then we will hopefully see kind of more variety of standards that are needed from quality, reliability, performance aspects and things that the industry really needs to run, but also to make sure that we're delivering that in a timely manner. Yep. So I'll give you an example, and I'm not quoting real numbers here, but if you look at kind of existing timeframes for development, you can look at somewhere between 2 and 3 years of kind of effort to get into standards. Yep. Now when you kind of match that up to the rate and pace of technology, that may or may not work, right? So can we get into an area where we can develop a guideline in 6 months, in 9 months? Again, I'm not saying that's necessarily the case here, but those are the kind of the driving forces that we're working towards, so that we can kind of deliver that content to the industry as needed.
It'd be wonderful if you could do that. I mean, of course, one of the issues is that standards are usually, it's driven by membership who are volunteers. Everybody's got different schedules, and getting everybody to coordinate together takes, quite often takes time. But I think it's a much more natural funnel to be driving it from the technology side down into the standards.
Yeah, and certainly, so I can say definitely for sure that we are, we're examining these new technologies like the use of AI, and looking at our process development processes and things to see, where those opportunities are, so that we can actually, get to, faster time to market. So that definitely is occurring.
Okay. So if we look over the last 12 months, I mean, what would you say have been the biggest challenges that you've had technically?
Well, certainly the last 2 or 3 years have been really occupied with a lot of new packaging technologies, from the U.S. CHIPS Act, for example, the European CHIPS Act, and again, we've talked about that in previous interviews. I think that the biggest challenge now over these last 12 months now are really trying to acknowledge the variety of those changes. So, this is a period of time where we're actually looking at the largest types of components that we've ever seen, driven by AI, HPC computing. We're talking, 100 millimeter, 120 millimeter, 150 millimeter packages. 20, 40, 50 pieces of silicon, stacked HBM memory. I mean, I could go on and on. So these are very large devices, very expensive devices.
And they also run very hot.
Run very hot and, challenging to put down. So all of these things. And at the exact same time, we're actually dealing with the smallest type of electronic components that we've ever seen in our watches, in our phones, due to all the the multi-functions that we want in these devices, right? So it's a very interesting period of time where we've got challenges on the largest componentry and the smallest componentry, so that we can have phones and watches do the cool things that they do today, right? Yeah. So in terms of the technical challenge over these last 12 months is, as this has been unfolding at the front end for silicon, semiconductor, and packaging, really trying to raise the awareness of the back end of the value chain into printed circuit boards, HDI, as well as PCBA and EMS manufacturing, because make no mistake, these devices, whether they're really big or really small, are going to be drastically impacting printed circuit board design, HDI design, printed circuit board assembly.
Right.
And so if we kind of look back, back in the, I'd say mid to late 90s, if we kind of throw it over the wall with these new technologies and hope that these can be built reliably, I think we're going to be dealing with some pretty big problems. So what we're really trying to do is bridge the new technology changes that are coming from the front end to the back end, so that we can understand not only are these things really great working at the component level, but they can actually be made with high quality, high reliability within a system. So we're taking a systems view of this, Trevor.
Right. So I mean, it sounds almost like, as I said, you're looking at the heterogeneous integration that's going to the back-end packaging and expanding that out to the board level, really, so that you're getting compatibility with materials and things like that. So you're going to get optimum reliability and quality.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an exciting time, because we've really had to look at ourselves and say, what is IPC's background? What is our value delivery to the industry? And we are not really coming to the industry from the component level. We've had component level integration all along here, but that's not necessarily been our strength. Our strength has been coming from the system level at printed circuit board assembly, right? So the idea is that we, as an organization, are coming in from the from the right to the left, in terms of saying these are the things that are really important at a system level while you're developing and dreaming up these new types of components. Let's not forget about quality, reliability, assembly, yield, all of these things to make the final system. Because as cool and awesome as these new packages are on glass substrates with lots of silicon and all these wonderful things that we're doing in the package level, if we don't integrate those into a system, we don't have a system.
Right.
So that's basically our value add, is we're coming at it kind of more from the system side into things, and making sure that we're looking at the various aspects, particularly reliability.
Right. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these big data centers that we're putting together for, for AI, etc., they're running very hot, and they're employing new technologies where they're using cooling systems, using liquid cooling for electronics, which sounds a bit of an anathema, but that's what they're doing. What's your view on that? And are you looking to do any standards around that, or is that something that's just industry driven at the moment?
No, absolutely. I mean, thermal management and challenges of these final systems is probably one of the largest problems right now we're facing, kind of from an engineering perspective. So yeah, I mean, that's top of the list in terms of guidelines and standards developments, whether it be kind of more of the mechanical aspects of getting these heat exchange type of systems into a package area that's very very, very small or very, very large, but also in terms of the actual design up front and simulation, getting into like digital twin and those types of things, so you can model this stuff before you actually have to go create these systems, because they're very complex. They cost a lot of money to make, and you want to understand the performance before you start to get into it. So yeah, we're looking at that, and kind of merging not just the physical design of these things, but also utilizing some of the digital techniques that we established, through digital twin, CFX, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so that was going to be my next question, was really to say that, what is the progress with CFX? I mean, it's been going a couple of years now. has there been greater adoption of the qualified vendors list, and where are you taking that technology or that standard? How are you developing it?
Yeah, so I'll answer a few different ways. So I think we're in I believe it's like the 8th year now that CFX has been alive, in a standards format. But obviously it's being practiced in manufacturing as well as a real life process. So the adoption rate, I think it's slower than what I would like to see, but these things do take time. There's a lot of benefits. I think we've talked about the security and the architecture in general was written to be very agnostic in the sense that you can apply it to different processes, which is I think a kind of an interesting growth area that I can kind of talk about here in a second. But the adoption rate in the EMS industry, I would say, is a little bit slower than I'd like to see. It is dependent on geography. So we're seeing some really nice uptake in Asia in particular. A lot of manufacturing is going on there, a little bit more than what we're seeing in North America. So we've seen some really nice adoption, particularly in Taiwan. There's groups like TIMA and others that are really embracing the technology. So I think the time is there. People are starting to realize the value, the benefit, the security of the system.
Right.
So it's increasing in adoption. The QPL list in terms of equipment vendors that are offering it, it's growing as well. Again, it was all written around originally the EMS factory, which is good. The exciting part that I see now, kind of thinking about the next couple of years, is as it's been written kind of from an architectural standpoint, we can actually see interest in more at the front end. So we're seeing this in terms of interest in terms of IDMs and OSATs for packaging. Okay. And we've actually even seen some interest on the semiconductor side. And we know that the data usage of those companies is much higher than the back end. So hopeful that there'll be some interest there. And then the last thing I'll say is that we're seeing some more coupling and interest with CFX with the usage of digital twin.
Right.
So we'll see how that plays out. But these things always take a little longer than what we think.
Right.
But it works, and it's secure is a really important element.
I think that's the attraction, isn't it? I mean, the security of CFX, I mean, it was built around the same sort of protocols as banking software. Yeah. So it's very, very secure.
Yeah.
So, talking about how you then develop that through or introduce a digital pipeline into digital twin, how do you envisage that happening? You envisage the data that's coming out of the CFX essentially going forward to create some sort of representation of a process in digital twin form?
Yeah, and so we've been working a little bit, say with NIST, for example. We've had there's been several meetings over the last few years. The USA Manufacturing Institute was just stood up under SRC, and the need for digital twin continues to go up as our hardware costs go up and up and up, right? So the way that we describe that is we take digital twin concepts and combine that with CFX. So digital twin is a kind of a digital shadow of a physical process. Okay, you can do what-if scenarios all around, what that process, big or small, might occur. So there's value in that. You can understand very clearly what's going to happen without even building anything in the physical form. Right. So in order to do that, you need data. Yeah. And so what a lot of people kind of forget about is they get so excited about what could happen, about how the data got into the digital twin in the first place. And that's where CFX come into play. So CFX can be that pipeline, or is that pipeline of data that can feed the digital twin. And so this was, again, back to the original pioneering days of folks like Michael Ford and those original teams that were coming up with this type of concept, is that in order for you to have a good digital twin, real-time data, all the detail in the metadata, all those types of things, you need a really good pipeline to get that data in. So CFX plus digital twin now actually can help you with a working model. And that's why, you know, we've had both digital twin and CFX standards in play for quite some time now.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. Well, it sounds like you're doing a lot of exciting things, developing in the right direction. Again, as you say, speed is obviously one of the keep up with everything that's happening. But you know, it's to be able to hear what's happening in the technical level at IPC.
Thanks for having me, Trevor. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay. Welcome back to part 2 of Live at APEX. I'm joined now by Nick Walters from Robotas. Great to see you, Nick.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Okay, so you make systems for workbenches and carousels for assembling boards, essentially.
True, right. For the through-hole part of the build, though. So we're not interested in the SMT side of the board, just THT through-hole conventional components, yeah.
Okay. Is there such a big market for that?
Yeah, there is, thankfully. There always seems to be THT. I think people are trying to design that out of the boards, and obviously everyone would like to move towards SMT components because you can automate that whole process.
Yeah.
But if you have power electronics or a lot of voltage running through the board, often the parts have to be big, of course, and so therefore they're odd form components and they're difficult to place by automation. Right. You can do that, but usually that's good if there is high volumes of boards, and then it's worth the investment for automation for odd form components. And if there's not the high volume and you're into a medium or low volume, then you need people to put those places in, and that's what we're all about.
Right, right. And I'd imagine there's a certain amount of military work that's still THT, you know.
Sure, there's a lot of avionics work out there and things like that,
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So and legacy boards, of course, as well, yeah.
So the name of your system is Mascot.
Yeah, that's the name of our product for THT assembly, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about how it works exactly.
So effectively, wherever there are people placing components into boards, you could use a Mascot system. Our systems are a workbench, an ergonomic workbench, and the components are stored in motorized carousels or shelf arrays which have pick-to-light on them. Yeah. So the operator would step on a foot pedal after loading the assembly for the product they're building. The correct component would be delivered to the operator. We have a laser head. The laser is shining straight down onto the PCB and highlighting exactly which part they're placing. So now they've got the correct part and they're placing it exactly where that part needs to go. If the part has polarity, then our laser is telling them that this part has polarity and which way around that needs to go as well.
Okay. So if they put it into the wrong polarity, does it stop them from going forward?
So standard Mascot would not, so everything I've spoken about so far. However, in the last 12 months we have launched a camera-based verification system which can be added to any of our Mascot systems, and effectively that's a camera that sits up on the laser head looking down on the board in real time with a lighting canopy. And if the operator forgets to place that part in the board and tries to step on, the camera will take a photograph of the part in question, and if that part's missing, the program will stop and it won't let the operator move forward anymore. Or, as you mentioned, if they've placed the part in with the wrong polarity, then it will check against its templates and will check that indeed is wrong and won't move forwards. And so you can fix that part at the time of placement rather than you've moved on maybe into solder and then you've got a rework situation which is costly. So.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. But I mean, it's great that it can, monitor the system and not let the operator move to the next part of the program without if they've got it wrong until they fix it. Yeah. That's really good. Okay. So where have been your biggest success stories with this system?
Well, I think it's a new product of ours, the verification product. It was launched in the last 12 months. We've got customers out there who are using the system, and the feedback's great. The systems are stable, they're working, we're supporting them. The customers for Verify at the moment are based in Europe, but we're getting a lot of interest. We do quite a lot of work out here in the States.
Yeah.
And the other nice thing is that we can retrofit this system to old mascots or mascots which are already out there in the field.
Right.
So it's great for us to go back to our customers and explain to them that we've now got this technology which we've designed specifically to be a low cost solution.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an AOI machine. It's not, by our own admission, it's not as high complex as some of the camera-based AOI systems out there.
Yeah.
But we're not really looking for that. All we need to know is has the part been placed? Is it there? And if it is there, is it the right part? And then is it placed with the right polarity? And that's what we can do. And then we've done our job.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. And I believe, it's also a bit of a drop-in replacement for some of the old contact systems machines that used to be over here.
We're so we also have in the last 6 years developed the ability to clinch component leads under the board at the time of placement. So that came about, as you mentioned. There was some contact CS4 machines which were sold in the 80s and 90s, and certainly in the States, but worldwide there's hundreds of these out there.
Right.
But that company stopped trading 10 years plus ago, and there were service technicians which could keep the systems going and offer spare parts, but that is no longer happening either. So what we're finding in America is that there's customers who have these systems, they're reliant on them because their process, they need to be able to clinch the component leads, but their systems are old and falling apart and they're not able to support them.
Right.
So yes, we've designed the ability to clinch the component leads under the board, and we can make it easy for the customer by taking their CS400 files and converting them instantly into our programs. Again, just to offer that support for customers who have that need.
Right. Okay. And talking about support here in the United States, you've developed quite a range of reps and people that can help service equipment as well.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about who your key reps are in the US?
Yeah, sure. So we've got a USA sales manager that's based in Ohio. He has his own facility. He has our demo equipment. He holds spare parts for us for the American for our American customers.
Yeah.
So combined with him, we've built a rep network around the States, and it's easier. We're based in the UK, so because of the time difference, especially over on the West Coast and things, I've worked with him for the last 13 years, so we know each other really well. He's very technical, knows our products really well, so he's able to now, if a rep has a customer, they're able to. The rep knows the top level of what our systems do, enough to talk to the customer, and then the customer wants to talk to the manufacturer. But we, rather than talking to a customer in a different time zone, they can talk to our USA sales manager, who can answer most questions really. So it's working really well for us.
Good. Well, it sounds like you're pretty well set up over here. So congratulations, and thank you for coming in and telling us about it today.
No problem at all. Thank you very much for having us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Fine. So thank you. So coming up after the break, we're going to be talking to Ivan Romo from SMarTsol. He will be our last guest of the day, and that'll be coming up shortly.
Kaizen is the leading global supplier of award-winning cleaning chemistries for electronics assembly operations. Whether you are cleaning stencils or final assemblies, our global team of cleaning experts is there to help you succeed. Want to know more? Stop by our booth or visit kaizen.com.
For micro dispensing, there is one product line that is proven and trusted by manufacturers in semiconductor packaging, electronics assembly, medical device, and electromechanical assembly the world over. DL Technology, superior pumps and needles for the finer things in life.
Video proudly sponsored by Kyoyoung Technology. True 3D inspection for the SMT industry.
Synchro. Join the revolution. Non-stop selective soldering. Increase UPH. Reduce maintenance. Small footprint. Contact us today for more details.
Kaizen is the leading global supplier of award-winning cleaning chemistries for electronics assembly operations. Whether you are cleaning stencils or final assemblies, our global team of cleaning experts is there to help you succeed. Want to know more? Stop by our booth or visit kaizen.com.
For micro dispensing, there is one product line that is proven and trusted by manufacturers in semiconductor packaging, electronics assembly, medical device, and electromechanical assembly the world over. DL Technology, superior pumps and needles for the finer things in life.
Video proudly sponsored by Kyoyoung Technology. True 3D inspection for the SMT industry.
Synchro. Join the revolution. Non-stop selective soldering. Increase UPH. Reduce maintenance. Small footprint. Contact us today for more details.
And welcome back. I'm delighted to be joined now by Ivan Romo, President of SMarTsol. Welcome, Ivan. Nice to see you.
Hi,
again.
Trevor. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, okay. So you've had some meteoric growth over the years. You've got you're the largest distributor by a long way in Mexico, with multiple locations, and you then started up in here into the United States, and you've got, I think, 3 different locations up here.
We have 2 locations in Arizona and in Texas.
Okay.
And I mean, the latest is that we need to have more people here. So right now we have 5 field service engineers, and you know that we are doing a lot of installations, but also supporting the customers from Northzone X-rays.
Yes.
So they are doing the support for the newest platforms and for the legacy platforms. SMarTsol is responsible to offer that service, calibrations, repairs to the customers.
Right.
And right now we have 2 sales guys for United States, and we have a couple open positions for the Austin region and for the south of California that we are closing the latest interviews this week. So pretty sure that for next month we are going to announce who is going to be the new guys in the United States for us. In addition to that, I mean, you know, Center of America, Salvador, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Honduras. We are doing a lot of projects over there, so we are also adding 2 more people for that region. We currently have 2, and we are adding 2 more people for that region.
So you're going to be opening a new place in El Salvador, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because one of the test and measurement product lines that we do, they ask us because there was some transition with their current distributor. So there is an opportunity right now to get the business that other companies are shutting down because the current political environment that is in the war.
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, the political environment's making it very challenging. But one of the things I noticed about SMarTsol is that you have got, I guess, the best line card of anybody. I mean, you've got ASMPT, you've got Nordson Test and Measurement, you've got Kurz-ERSA. I mean, really, you've got the creme de la creme.
Kaizen, yes.
Yeah, Kaizen, of course. Yeah.
Yes. Basically, we do a good combination of the top lines in the war and adding some peripheral equipment that we also are managing, like the conveyors, the routers, the laser markers, soldering robots and other products that make sense for the industry to combine with these very famous brands, leaders of the market. And due that combination, the end customer can get an advantage of better price in the total solution.
Yeah, and I think the other unique advantage that you offer is the fact that you actually hold stock of equipment.
Yes.
And that's incredible. I mean, I would think it's an expensive way to sell, but the fact is you have warehouses full of equipment so that if a customer places an order, they get it the next day. So I've got to say, Ivan, that's pretty unique.
Yeah, if you check who has the stock for a Quadra 7 Pro from Nordson, only us. So who has the Quadra 5 Pro stock? Only us. So right now we have 2 Quadra 5s in stock, 1 Quadra 7 in stock for same day delivery if needed from Mexico.
Wow.
And routers we are handling now like 8 or 10. Conveyors, we keep a minimum inventory of 50 conveyors. Right. When that number goes down, we do the reorder for the next container. Yeah. And it's the way. I mean, for Kaizen, we are having the stock in Juárez, Chihuahua, Querétaro, Monterrey, Guadalajara, and Tijuana.
Right. Now, so the point of that is, of course, that's on the materials side. So therefore, you're doing just-in-time delivery there.
Absolutely, yes. Because all the Kaizen product is being shipped from Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah. And depending on what is the final destination, we cross the truck through Laredo or through Juárez. And the truck is delivering into our warehouse, 2 or 3 different warehouses, the same truck. Right. So every other week we are having shipments from Nashville to our warehouse. Right. And we have some customers, for example, in Monterrey, that we are doing almost real-time delivery 3 times per week. And we are checking the inventory and doing the replenishment for them. Right. So it's a different business that years ago when we was focused only in capital equipment, we didn't have experience. However, we have more than 5 years doing that for Kaizen, and right now we consider ourselves as an expert on logistics for just-in-time delivery.
Right. Well, I mean, in actual fact, another change you've made recently is you've divided the business up into 4 different areas. Can you talk about that?
Sure. We have the capital equipment division. We have the consumables and small equipment division, the test and measurement, and also the automation. So there are some industries when one group has relation with the same customers. However, mainly consumables and capital equipment are the one focused for the electronic CMS, and the others are for all type of industries.
Right. That's incredible. So, where do you see your expansion going in the future? It's going to obviously be down into South America and these sorts of things. How do you think are you facing many challenges at the moment with the tariff business?
Yes, we expect that this tariff situation needs to be fixed and clarified and to be more stable, because if the U.S. government still with this, it's going to be a big economic recession, not only for Mexico, it's going to be for the United States. All of the investments have been on hold right now, but we are confident that
it's going to be resolved.
Yeah, it needs to be resolved in the next weeks. Everything is going to be as before, and we will continue to be happy in this industry.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, you can tell even by the show floor here. I mean, there's no real concern, because the demand is there. Everybody knows the demand for new products and for data centers and everything else is there. Once we get this political thing sorted out a bit, business will for sure resume.
Yes, of course. A lot of the data centers products, I mean, the big servers for AI and for data storage are being assembled now in Mexico. So that division is also driving a big challenge for the EMS, because there is a lot of power consumption.
Yes.
A lot of stress chamber requirement. And also when the companies like Amazon, Google, and all the companies driving that requirement, they need to have a very, very stable power. in order to.
I think
to
that's
keep
going to be the next
production.
challenge. I
Yes,
really do.
it's for the EMS and also for the end users.
Yeah.
So there is a big challenge, but
Yeah.
of course, the demand for these products is still growing so fast.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, Ivan, it's always a pleasure to catch up.
Thank you, Trevor.
You keep developing the company. Every time I see you, there's something new. So I want to thank you for coming in and telling us about it today.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Okay, thank you. So that brings us to the end of today's programming here from IPC APEX Expo. It's been a wonderful day. The show floor's been very busy, and a lot of people here having a look. I kind of wonder whether, because there's some projects on hold because of the tariffs, whether people have got more time, should I say, to come out and look at things on the show floor here. But that's it for today. We'll be back tomorrow about 9 o'clock in the morning. So from me and the team here in Anaheim, thank you and good night.
Synchro. Join the revolution. Non-stop selective soldering. Increase UPH. Reduce maintenance. Small footprint. Contact us today